So, you've probably seen the name Lumiphonix floating around online. And at first glance, you might think, okay, another online brand. But trust me, if you look just a little closer, you're going to find this incredible rabbit hole of creativity that is seriously unlike anything else out there right now.
Okay, so it all kind of starts with what looks like your average online store. You're scrolling and you see this t-shirt with a really striking name, Sleeping Through Your Life. I mean, that's a phrase that kind of sticks in your head, right? But then you keep going. Next thing you know, you hit a hoodie called Don't Crease My Retros. Okay, a bit of swagger, a bit of attitude. So we've jumped from something super deep and introspective to something that's way more in your face. You can feel a very specific vibe starting to take shape here.
And it's not just the words. You start to see these little symbols popping up again and again, like this blue lotus. It's on handbags, it's on home decor. It's becoming really clear that these aren't just random designs. There's a thread tying all of this together. But what is it?
And that, right there, is the big question we're going to tackle. What in the world connects a cryptic t-shirt, a wisecracking space ferret, and a ghost ship that literally harvests memories? I promise you, the answer isn't just some clever marketing plan. It's a doorway into a whole new universe.
So let's go back and pull on that very first thread we found, that Sleeping Through Your Life t-shirt. It turns out it's so much more than just a cool phrase. In fact, the key to unlocking this entire mystery is hidden right inside those 4 words. Because get this, that's not a marketing slogan, it's a direct quote from a story. It's actually a warning delivered by a psychic space ferret to the story's hero. And just like that, the rabbit hole gets a whole lot deeper.
So here's the big reveal. The Lumiphonix store isn't just selling stuff, it's selling artifacts from a fictional universe. Every single item you see is a piece of merchandise for a world that exists inside a serialized novel, published online for anyone to read.
And that story is called Steve and the Ghost Ship, and you can find it right now over on Wattpad. And let me tell you, it is a wild sci-fi ride about a girl, her talking ferret sidekick, and a galactic conspiracy that will absolutely blow your mind.
Now, at the heart of this big conspiracy are the bad guys, the Federation. They're this huge galactic power that keeps everyone under control by erasing memories and enforcing total silence. Oh, and in this wonderfully weird detail from the story, their agents smell faintly of electric bacon. Yeah, you heard me right, electric bacon.
And this is where the real conflict of the story just becomes so clear. You've got the Federation on one side, all about erasure, control, and forgetting. And on the other side, you have our hero, who is all about remembering and fighting back.
And that hero's name is Lumiphonix. She's not some princess from a distant star system. Nope, she's just a girl from Indiana who ends up on a spaceship and discovers she has psychic powers. And her whole mission is to get her own stolen memories back, and in doing that, to fight for everyone's right to remember.
But this is way more than just a cool story with some merch. It's a completely realized creative project with all these different layers that feed into each other. It's a story, yes, but it's also a brand. And, as we're about to find out, it's a sound too. And the architect behind this whole thing, the story, the designs, all of it is one person, the creator, Trisha Powell. She is the writer, she is the designer, she is the visionary, weaving all these different threads into one amazing tapestry. And in her own words, she explains just how personal this all is. She says, "I am Trish, but this project is where I step into a different vibration." I mean, that's such a powerful way to talk about the transformative power of creating art.
And that artistic expression doesn't just stop with words and images, because this universe doesn't just have a look, it has a sound. Powell is also a musician, and she creates music under the very same name, Lumiphonix.
She calls her music emotionally intelligent soundscapes, created for deep feelers and the voice reclaimers. And that is absolutely not an accident. It's a perfect reflection of the story's core themes: feeling, remembering, and finding your voice when the world wants you to be quiet. And this right here is where all the different pieces of the puzzle just click perfectly into place. Remember that t-shirt, Sleeping Through Your Life? Well, it's also the title of a song on the Lumiphonix Soundcloud. And, like we already know, it's a huge theme in the story. It's this perfect triangle of creative expression.
So here's how you can really experience the whole thing. You can start with the music, right? That sets the whole emotional vibe. Then you can dive into the story, which takes that feeling and builds out this rich, detailed world. And finally, You can actually own a piece of that world with the merchandise, which brings the story's artifacts right into your hands.
The most important thing to get is that every single piece, whether it's a song, a chapter, or a hoodie, is part of one big, connected story. It's a story about memory, about resisting anyone who wants you to forget, and about the idea that love is strong enough to survive even when someone is trying to erase it.
And you know, this whole thing didn't just appear out of thin air. This project has been carefully, deliberately built, piece by piece, over time. It started with the first song back in 2024, and then the story made its debut in 2025. What we're seeing today is the result of years of real creative dedication.
There's this one line from the novel that I think just perfectly captures the whole philosophy here. Steve, the space ferret, he tells the hero, "And stories, they keep us both alive." It's just such a powerful reminder that in a world that's always changing, always so noisy, our stories are what ground us. They're how we survive.
So, all of this leaves us with a pretty deep thought to chew on. The entire Lumiphonix universe is really just a creative answer to a question we all have to face every day. In a world that is constantly trying to distract us, to make us forget what really matters. How are you going to choose to remember?